people, the headlines, the issues impacting you, all on This Week in Cincinnati on 9 on Your Side.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tanya O'Rourke. First on This Week in Cincinnati, a tri-state priest is accused of raping a boy at the St. Jude Catholic School 3 decades ago. Father Drew was the music minister at St. Jude. The alleged sexual assaults happened from 1988 to 1991 when the victim was 10 and 11 years old. That child was an altar boy. Years later, Drew became a priest and served at St. Maximilian and St. Ignatius, as well as other local parishes. 9 on Your Side, Chief Investigative Reporter Craig Cheatham has more on the criminal case against Drew.
Prosecuting attorney Joe Dieters says Drew sexually assaulted the boy 3 decades ago at the St. Jude School. The alleged abuse happened for 2.5 years.
During the time of these rapes, he was employed at the St. Jude School as a music minister. The incidents took place in Drew's office during or immediately after the school day.
Drew is in jail. If convicted, he faces life in prison.
I'm sad, but also not surprised.
Dan Frondorf is the local leader of SNAP, the survivors network of those abused by priests. Drew was not a priest when he allegedly assaulted the boy at St. Jude.
He went on to become a priest, and he totally escaped their vetting process, their formation process. And I think they've got to take a hard look at that process to make sure that they aren't allowing people like this guy to seep through.
Father Drew had been the pastor at St. Ignatius Loyola for the past year. The Archdiocese placed him on leave in July. In September 2018, while Drew was at St. Ignatius, Butler County Prosecutor Mike Moser told the Archdiocese it should monitor Drew and keep him away from children. Moser's recommendation followed a series of complaints dating back to 2013 concerning Drew's behavior with teenage boys at St. Maximilian Colby, a parish in Butler County. Moser had determined Drew's conduct was inappropriate but not criminal. After Moser's suggestion, the Archdiocese allowed Drew to self-report his behavior at St. Ignatius and didn't share concerns about him with parish leaders.
The Archdiocese apologized for the way it responded to allegations against Father Drew and insisted it has fully cooperated with the prosecuting attorney's office during the criminal investigation. We will speak with the Director of Media Relations for the Archdiocese in just a few minutes on this program. Stay tuned for that. By the way, on Wednesday, Common Pleas Judge Leslie Giz set bond for Father Drew at $5 million. Judge Giz says she considers him to be a flight risk. He is pleading not guilty to all of the allegations. So the issue of sex abuse by priests has come up so many times before. Just last December, St. Xavier High School, a Jesuit school, released a list of priests or others who have, quote, established accusations of sexually abusing children. That list, by the way, went back to 1955. According to the website bishopaccountability.org, 32 priests in the Archdiocese of Cincinnati have been accused of sexual abuse, but not all of them charged. On its website, the Archdiocese of Cincinnati says 14 priests have either been permanently removed from the clerical state or permanently removed from priestly ministry. Now, removal from clerical state means they can no longer function as a priest anywhere. Removal from priestly ministry means they're expected to lead a life of prayer and penance, but they're still under the authority of the Archbishop and subject to certain priestly responsibilities, including celibacy. So there's SNAP, the survivors network of those abused by priests, and it says it's not surprised another priest is accused of sexual abuse. So joining me from SNAP is Dan Frondorf. You saw him in that Craig Cheatham piece just a few months ago. We thank you for being here. You are a survivor yourself, so this week has had to be tough for you on many levels, but explain what this was like this week for SNAP and for you. Okay,
good morning. Thank you for having me here. I'm Dan Frondorf. I am the Cincinnati chapter leader of SNAP. And we are a peer-to-peer counseling network primarily, but we do advocacy work as well on behalf of survivors of sexual abuse from religious authority figures. This week has been hectic. It really has. The news broke on Monday about the indictment, and my phone has been ringing off the hook, and I've been up late each night this week returning emails and trying to answer all the questions that people have sent me and asked me. People have sent me questions about other priests. People want to know what to do. The Catholics they're mad as hell, and they want to know what can they do to get their bishop to finally take this matter seriously.
Do you feel the Archdiocese is not taking this seriously?
I think they have taken it seriously, but, and I've given them credit in the past 15 years, it's been pretty quiet around here, maybe 10 years. But this single terrible failing of Joe Benzer to exercise his own judgment that is contrary to the decree on child protection in the case of Father Drew is, to me, it's unforgivable, because if you cannot trust the auxiliary bishop, if not the actual archbishop of your diocese, to protect kids, then who can you trust? What else have they lied about?
Are you talking specifically about the fact that he was then, this priest who was not convicted of anything was then placed in a St. Ignatius with some folks, Bishop Benzer included, maybe knowing that he should not be around
Correct,
children?
yes, and by their own admission, going back to 2013, they had a series of complaints about Father Drew where it was suggested that he was acting inappropriately or something in a sexual nature. And the auxiliary bishop, who was also had the role of the director of priest personnel, he decided to overlook that and act on his own accord instead of what their own decree on child protection says. Why have the decree if a high-ranking official can act on his own judgment in lieu of?
Dan, it's a very short period of time I got to spend with you, and I know there's so much more you have to say. We appreciate your time, and we will tell you this. If you have information that police should know concerning Father Drew or any other alleged cases of sexual abuse by priests, investigators want you to call Cincinnati police officer Dana Jones. The number's there on your screen. It's 513-352-6947. I would also tell you, if you think you need some help, reach out to the folks at SNAP. They're happy to do that as well. And next on This Week in Cincinnati, we talked with the spokesperson for the Archdiocese of Cincinnati about its perspective on the Father Drew case and more.